don't see no white mustache.
She looking at Papa like, with that?
Hey, I've been waiting to see
Melanie.
you, hold you.
Melanie.
With that smile.
Melanie.
Huh? That's
Melanie.
right. That's right. They know everybody.
She just looking at. She not getting half a smile at him. He getting half a smile.
Look at it.
He getting half a smile.
Just as pretty as you want to be, girl.
Okay, we just made it to this place, Redwood Center in Raleigh, where hopefully we're going to get some answers regarding Melody and how we can best help her. We're supposed to be getting some testing done where they're going to monitor Melody, and so we can have a greater clarity on the spectrum of autism that they're saying she's on. So I'm excited. Are you excited, Melody? Yay! She just kind of woke up, so she kind of got to get in the mood. But here we are, thanking God for safe travel. All right, welcome to the Barrett Brigade Show. This episode is going to be a little different. This episode, we're going to be a little bit more vulnerable in sharing our experiences. This month is Autism Awareness Month, so I thought this episode would be the perfect episode to highlight our experience and share a little bit of our, testimony with our diagnosis of autism for our daughter, Melody. So we're just going to be, talking to each other, but including you guys in our conversation as well, just sharing what we have went through, are going through, and will go through, which I'm sure many parents, with children of autism go through or may share similar, experiences. So, not going to be nothing, too big or too strenuous. Just going to ask each other a couple questions and, share our answers from our heart. So don't judge us. Everybody experience and process things differently. So, okay, Angel, I guess I'll ask you a question and then you can ask me a question or you can repeat the question back to me. But,
Okay.
all right, so to begin, what was your understanding of autism before our daughter's diagnosis and how has it changed?
My understanding of autism in the beginning was just like just a person that was very, very smart, a genius person. I really didn't have like any background information, or I didn't know much about autism.
How did we feel the moment we learned about our daughter's autism diagnosis? Can you describe the mix of emotions that we went through? You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first, cause
Okay.
you can, yeah,
You can talk too, but go
yeah,
ahead.
baby, nah. But how do we feel? How did I feel when I first found out Melody had autism? Um, it was it was scary in the beginning because I really didn't know much about autism. But I kind of knew that there was something there because I was pregnant with Anaya, and so everybody was like, "Well, Angel, maybe Melody just not talking much because you about to have a new baby, and you had a new baby so fast." But I was like, "No, I know it's much more." She wasn't talking much, and my grandma was concerned because Melody was so hyper and running around. But I was like, Grandma, she just being a child. But no, that was not the case. That was not the case because being that she had an extra energy and she wasn't talking much. I was like, man, I know that there's something there, but I just couldn't put my hand on it, and I just couldn't like figure it out what it was. And she wasn't talking, and so I said, well, Malcolm, I think I'm just gonna take Melody to the doctor just to see like if she does have autism or not. And Malcolm, he was a little hesitant about it, but that's okay because parents, some parents, well, fathers, aren't always so acceptive of that, and not just fathers, mothers can be too. Um, but we went to the doctor, and the lady was observing Melody. But I'll let Malcolm tell you about that.
No, you can go ahead, tell your
Oh,
story.
well, the doctor came. She came in. She was like observing Melody, and but this was like when she's 2 now, and Anaya's 1. So we took Anaya with us, just so the doctor can see, the differences, and so doctor came in, and she was like, hey, how y'all doing? And she was just looking at Melody, observing her and different things like that. She was like, Melody just act like she was out of it, y'all. Like, like something was really, really, really wrong. And like she was like, yeah, she has no emotions. She don't show no emotions or anything like that. But I was like, that's not true because she showed plenty of emotion. She didn't acknowledge her, even though she didn't look directly at her. Melody knew that she was in the room, but she did say, some of Melody did have characteristics of autism. And I was like, oh man, but I really didn't cry because because I knew.
Well, then you didn't
Well,
cry
then I
then
didn't. Yeah,
at
I
that
didn't cry
moment.
then at that
Yeah.
moment. But I knew that Melody had something, and now that something has a name, which is autism.
Wow. Wow. Melody, it's letters. Letter magnets. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna open it. Dang, don't rush me. Wow. You love letter magnets, don't you? She finna have these all over the refrigerator. Look. I wish I had a little magnet board you could put them on. Wow. Work your magic, girl.
All right. Can you describe the mixed emotions that you went through?
Yes. So after that diagnosis from my first doctor, we had to go to Raleigh to the Teach program, and they gave us the official medical diagnosis. And they told us that yes, Melody does show signs to have signs of autism. I was relieved because now we finally got that. We got that diagnosis, and we know that what Melody has. So now we just got to figure out how can we do this. And so I was excited about that part that we got it, but then I started to feel like a little sad because you know what can we do? How are we going to raise Melody? But we can. We know we were supposed to. We can and we will raise her just like any other child that we have, and we'll treat her no differently. But we will accommodate her needs. It's still challenging now. It's very challenging now, but in the beginning I was sad, but now I feel really good about it because now I know some techniques that I can do, and now I'm learning all about Melody, what she likes and what she dislikes.
Let me see. How did I feel upon first learning about her diagnosis? I don't know. I don't really know how I felt. I guess it was kind of numb at first and kind of, I guess you can say in denial because I didn't want to believe it. We didn't, and I guess, well, I was in denial for a long time because you said when you was pregnant with Anaya, your family was asking questions, right? But
Yeah,
that's what you said
well,
earlier.
yeah,
And
that,
so we
yeah,
didn't get her to a doctor until after Anaya was about 1. If you remember
yeah.
earlier, she said that
And now he was just
people were saying
born.
that maybe she's cried because another baby is coming because we did have the second baby right after Melody, and so I was thinking, yeah, she's cried because another baby's coming. She's getting out the way, you know. But then after the new baby came, Anaya, she still was like, and I guess she was showing the initial characteristics like first people was asking, can she hear, or
Oh
was her
yeah,
hearing okay? And we knew her hearing was fine, but I guess what you learn and what you will discover, with some kids who have autism, it's almost like they're ignoring you, but they're not ignoring you. They're really in their own world, in their own zone. And so, but I remember, different family was asking questions and everything, and I was like, no, she's fine. Well, what about this? And I can tell that, like, I guess my answer or my swift response was letting them know I was feeling some type of way, and so they stopped asking me and would just go to Angel about it. So do you mind, asking Malcolm, or would you guys like to, But yeah, it was very hard to accept at first. So understanding of her diagnosis, I don't know, it was very tough because it's almost like finding out that, well, this is before I had the understanding of all of what it was. I was, very upset about it. I don't even really know why, I know I was questioning God a lot and upset with God. And I'm thankful for my pastor, Bishop Michael Blue, you know, praying with me and talking with me and giving me some understanding and helping me to change and challenge my perspective. But in the beginning, without the knowledge and information of all of what it means, I remember in the doctor's office when we first went. This was our primary care doctor. Um, because from my understanding, you go to them first, and if they believe it, then they'll recommend you or suggest you to the actual place in Raleigh or Chapel Hill to go. I remember the doctor was like, "Well, she hasn't even really acknowledged me when I walked in." She was like, "And I'm like her sister, Anaya. You see, she's acknowledged me because Anaya acknowledged the doctor and was walking up to her, playing with her keys, playing with the little heart thing, and Melody was in her own little world." And she was just giving us, the reasons why she think yes, there may be something there. So I'm going to suggest you guys, get her tested, or get her screened for it or whatever, I mean, I just broke down crying right there in the doctor's office, just
He
boo-hooing,
did. I just gave him the tissue.
That's because I love her. I love my daughter. That's why. But anyway, I just broke down crying right there, and the doctor handed me the tissue. I was about to smack it out her hand. But anyway, because it was very hard, and it was almost like a grieving to
Yeah.
me, it was like a grieving process that had begun, and even now I have to catch myself. But it was very, very hard. I don't know no other way to describe it, but um, and I remember, leaving that doctor's office, and I think I told my mom because my mom was my final straw. She was the one that was like, "Okay, Malcolm, if family is saying this and suggesting this, you need to go get her checked out. I understand you have your insecurities about it, but if there is
Melody.
something, if there is something wrong, you would look back and be upset at yourself that you did not get her any help sooner." And so I was like, dang, mom, okay, I guess I'll go, you know. And when I went, that's when we got the first diagnosis. Okay, as you see, more and more people keep getting at it because, I don't know, it's just, you know, it's not hard to pursue your projects and stuff with kids, but anyway, and I don't know, depending on how they behave, we may have to redo this some other time. Anyway, okay, Angel, next question.
Okay.
What was the first steps we took after her diagnosis, and how did we decide on the best approach for her?
The first steps we took, I think we went and got her registered for like speech at first, speech. And then but backing up, we did look back over the IEP, not IEP, but the diagnosis report that they did give us. And so we went and got signed up for speech. We did speech, and I was getting to learn more about OT. Then, since the list was so long for, getting a child with autism, getting them the special services that they need, the list was like maybe 2 years out or a year long, y'all. And I think, yeah, signing her up for OT. We're just now getting into OT, and Melody is
Yes.
5.
Oh my
And that
God.
was like when she was 2, so that's crazy. So that's
Yeah.
how much
Yeah.
we really need, like services, and that's how we know that autism is becoming more more prevalent now. It's very, very
That's true, and that's
prevalent.
another thing
Yes.
that you have to deal with. With the diagnosis. Okay, where's the help? How do you get the help? And then
Yes.
finding out the long wait list for the help. It was like, God, come on now.
And we're still
You
on the
know,
waiting list for other
for other
services.
services, yeah, that we would like her to get or that she needs.
Yeah.
So it's like, God, like, why would you? I don't know, y'all. I was like, I thought I was strong in the Lord, and I thought I was strong in faith, but this showed me like, are you a new Christian? Do you even trust God? Because I was like Christian over everything. Like, oh my God, this diagnosis. Oh my baby, God, how can you? And then with the diagnosis, and then we ain't got can't get all the services that you need. Like, God, why would you? And then you need with a child with autism, you need either a work from home job or you don't need a job because
Woo!
they need a lot of attention, they need a lot of care, and then with all the services that they need that would be beneficial to them, it's kind of hard to juggle a job, with that. So it's like I haven't really gotten one to be able to do this or do that, and I was just really in a state of despair, you know, and I'm out of that, and God has brought me out of that, but at times. I can be honest and say that, it's kind of up and down. It's kind of like a roller coaster. But I'm getting better, and Melody is getting better, and we're getting more services, and so well, let me speak for myself. I'm coming up the mountain, The God has been good, despite it all. But, yeah, that's
Yes.
that.
Coming
But,
up the mountain. That's good.
okay, so how has faith played a role, and how did it,
Um,
give an instance where it gave us a new perspective. There was one incident where I don't know what happened with Melody, but y'all, she was in a hospital. Um, she was, acting so drowsy as if she couldn't move. Um, um, I remember her eyes just looking like real black, around, really baggy, and we just couldn't figure out what was going on. The doctors didn't know what was going on. Melody, the look on her face just gave like, somebody help me. And I remember, thinking, you know what, God, if she could talk, she could tell us what's wrong.
right.
We wouldn't have to figure it out. And that just, like, I don't know, y'all, and this is why you have to be careful to keep your mind, girded up with the Spirit and stay in prayer because where I should have been praying for Melody, and praying for her recovery and praying that, the doctors find out what's wrong. Instead, I'm so upset with God again, you know, and complaining about us not being able to know. Imagine that, me complaining to the God of all knowledge
Mm,
about us not knowing something and it's his
right.
fault, the God of wisdom, but and I remember and I have to be careful because like little things can play with your mind. Before her going into the hospital, like a day before that, I mean I was in the drive through a cookout and there was a lady in front of me and she was driving a real nice Mercedes, and when she got to the cookout window, I remember her trying to talk, but it was like like she couldn't really pronounce and get her words out and everything. And I remember thinking, oh, there's something wrong with her. And I remember the cookout lady through the speaker was sort of getting impatient with her, saying, "What? I can't understand you." But then I think after like the fourth or fifth time, she said, I remember the lady in the speaker said, "It's okay, baby. Just come to the window, and I'll figure out what you want." And so, and I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, that might
Wow.
be Melody. And I remember crying in the car again, trying to order my food. Let me get a big double burger,
But thank you.
and it's like, I don't know. I guess I was very sensitive. That's why I said, like, you could think you walking on the clouds and so strong and mighty in faith until that situation comes to really test your faith, and everything was like a trigger for me, you know. God, I don't know. But anyway, and I remember thinking, like, wow, God, see, she she can't even talk, Lord, to order her food. Like, how can you do this to her? How can you do this? How can you do this? How can you do that to Melody? Now, how am I gonna give her situation to Melody? Like, why would I speak that of my own child? But like, why would I even say that or say that's how Melody's going to turn out? And
Mm,
anyway, and after that whole situation, my perspective should have been, This is how my perspective should have been. Instead of saying, see, look at that, she can't even order her food. That's so sad. Look at her lot in life. But I should have been like, despite her speech impediment, she's driving a Mercedes. She's still successful. She's
Right.
still able to accomplish. She's not letting a hindrance or a deformity, whatever you want to call it, stop her. She has her cognitive skills. She's able to drive. She's in a Mercedes. She has money to pay for her food. There's so
Mm-hmm.
many healthier ways to look at it. And if we're not careful, we'll allow, the devil or, our own trauma to cause us to look at stuff through a negative light. But anyway, I remember in the hospital while Melody was going through this, nobody knew what was wrong, couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. I remember, really upset with God and crying about it, thinking about, see, God, how you did that lady in the cookout drive through. You
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna really look out for us. You ain't gonna really look out for Melody, and we really in this on our own,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember, trying to shake that off and pray about it and just build myself up. And this is in a hospital room, sitting beside Melody's bed. And I remember I fell asleep in a hospital chair right beside her bed. And I promise y'all, like, this is what really gave me a boost in my faith. It really changed my perspective. And I thank God for his mercy, you know, the way he could have responded to me cursing him and being upset with him, he didn't. He responded in the total opposite way, and I love him for it. In this dream, I'm sitting in the same chair I'm sitting in. I'm sitting beside Melody, and I wake up, but I'm still in a dream, and I see these four angels walk in, and they were glowing really bright, and they had on Dr. Scrubs. And when the first one came in the room, I remember the first one looked up at me and said, "Hey, Dad." And that made me feel good. It feels good to know that heaven acknowledges you, as a father, as your position that you're supposed to be carrying out here on the earth. And so I remember four of them came in. One of them went straight to Melody, landed in bed and started rubbing her head. And then one of the angels went to the IV machine that had her IV connected and was looking at the numbers. And the other angel was standing up and had opened the bag with the IV fluids in it and had stirred up the liquid in the bag with their finger.
Mm-hmm.
And when that angel was stirring up the liquid in the IV bag, the other angel was bending down looking at the machine and saw the numbers, change. And that angel said, "Yeah, that's what we want." And that felt good, like the angel said, "Yeah, that's what we want." And the angel is speaking on behalf of heaven. So not only do I want the best and want healing for my daughter, that's what heaven wants.
That's
And
true.
that's the perspective we all should have. God is the healer. He came to heal. He doesn't want you to be sick. He doesn't want you to be in poverty. He doesn't want you to carry disease. Heaven wants what you want. And actually God wants it more than you do.
Right.
And then the fourth angel, y'all, this is so beautiful. The fourth angel came to me while I was sitting there, and the fourth angel opened his hand. When he opened his hand, I seen a vision within the dream, and I seen Melody sitting at a piano, praising God and singing. It was so beautiful,
That's
y'all. Oh
beautiful.
my God! And then this one, I remember in the dream, I could hear footsteps coming down the hallway, and the angels in the dream heard it too. And so they stepped together and they hurry up and they walked out and they pulled the curtain back because there was a curtain, in front of the door. They pulled the curtain back, and when I woke up, it was actually a doctor walking to the room, and he came and he opened the door. He pulled the curtain back. He said, "Hey, we're just here to check her vitals." And they checked her vitals, and they came back and said, "Well, actually, she's done a complete turnaround." And we're going to release her to go home. So that really changed my perspective, and that let me know that God is always looking out for us. God is always looking out for her, and things will always be well. Because His
Yes,
promises to you and to your
always.
children, no matter what deformity or no matter what limitations you think they may have, there's no limitation that can limit God. There's no limitation that can limit His miracle working power. So that's my testimony of how my faith has helped me. Name a time that Melody made a significant milestone achievement that the whole family celebrated.
I could think of a time when Melody had said her ABCs. It was right in the hallway.
I'm gonna try to show that clip here. But
A B C D.
D A B C E F G H I J K L M N O P O S T U V W X Y Z na 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 A B C C technology.
so
How has my faith helped me along in this journey? Um, God is good. I would say that throughout this journey and my faith, it has increased because I have seen the miracles before my eyes. Hearing doctors say, well, she might be nonverbal, for the rest of her life, or she might not, but she's not talking just yet. She's on the level of a 2 year or like a to 18-month old, or even
Oh,
less.
you know what? And I just thought about that. Yeah, I remember with the nonverbal diagnosis. I think it was one day, and I was complaining about this again, and God was like, "You telling me she's nonverbal, won't be able to talk?" And He was like, "What did I tell you to name her?" And I'm
Right,
thinking, and He was like, "Before you even got this diagnosis, before she was even formed in her mother's womb, I already gave you the name for her." Melody, and there is no such thing as a nonverbal melody. Melody is a sound.
right,
And God was just telling me, I've already gave you the word before this situation even came about, and so
right,
continue to speak the word. And the word is the name that I gave you. So every time you say her name, what we're calling it to be.
right.
And it's no coincidence that the vision and the dream God gave me was her at a piano singing and praising God, making a melody to God. It's like God is so unique. God is so funny. God is really the
God
father
is
of time.
God.
You cannot limit him.
Right.
Before she even got here, God said, I remember asking God, what do you want me to name this child? He said, name her Melody. Okay, so God said Melody. Then we got here, and the doctor said nonverbal. Okay, so like, whose report are you going to believe? We're going to walk by
Report
faith.
of the
We're
Lord.
going to continue to put her in therapy. We're going to continue to get her the services she needs. But at the same time, we're going to do our part and pray and believe God for the miracle to continually be performed in her life. Okay, so what word of advice would you give to other parents or even new parents recently receiving a diagnosis of autism for their child?
I would say, don't feel embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Just embrace it. Because there's so many support groups here
Right.
that revolves around autism. There's autism parents that's willing to help you. Even if someone out is like notice, your child, and might ask you about your child. Just embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard. It is very hard, but you're not in this alone. Just know that. Ask for help. Go to the doctor. Ask some questions. Um, because there's this group that I'm in on Facebook called Taka, and it's great. Because once you surround yourself around people that is going through the same things that you are, and you can relate to them, it's much easier. It's better. And also, if you're able to get like a healthcare provider to provide you with resources, do it. Do it. Do all that you can for your child because you want what's best for your child. You want to be your child's advocate.
Right.
You don't
Right.
want your child
Right.
to be alone. You want what's best for them. You want as they grow up. You don't want them to be left out. You want them to feel included. So find programs that include them in things. Um, just the main thing, connection is very important. Collaborate, just all that good stuff. That's the main thing. Just embrace it and connect, collaborate, all that. And I promise you, and ask questions. I promise you, you'll do good on this journey.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Remember, like I'm gonna keep saying it over and over. You're not alone. You
You're
might
not
feel like
alone.
you're
True.
alone.
True.
You are not alone.
That is right. So I think that concludes our episode. We'll probably be doing a whole lot more. I think concerns autism as we're still learning because we don't know it all. I don't feel like we know the half of it. But as we're
No.
learning, about the different parts of the spectrum, we'll continue to share what we know, the resources, well, the what I feel like little to limited resources that we have, and we'll continue to share our journey with our special daughter, Melody. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
I do want to say thank you for being, the perfect mother, not only to Melody
Yeah.
but to all my children. Watch it, watch
Period.
it. But
I
honestly, like
does it.
I don't know, like the way I took it. I'm glad like we're able to be strength to one another, because I kind of had my moment first, and then yours came later. So
Never.
like by the time I was able to build myself up, then I guess
Never.
you
Nah.
had yours,
Never
because
had a moment.
you
Nah.
you did because you had yours at Outback one day. I was thinking, girl, what's wrong
What?
with you? The Rachel's looking at me like, did you just hear her?
Yeah, he hit me. No.
Because I was like, girl, what happened? I thought we was having a good time. And in that moment, I guess it's kind of hit you, and you have your
Yeah.
moment. But, it's all
And I
good,
still have
though.
my moments
Yeah,
now.
yeah, we still have
It's
moments,
hard.
but in the midst of the moments, God is still good, and He still gives us grace. But honestly, Angel, I don't know who else I could do this with, like the type of caliber of person that it takes. You already had those traits even before. You know how to say people with a certain heart or a certain personality are good with kids, especially
Yeah.
with kids with autism. You already had that trait, prior. So honestly, so yeah, I thank God.
Wow.
So I love you. Mwah. But yeah, God is
God bless you.
good. So happy Autism Awareness Day, everybody.
Yes.
Peace
Yes.
and blessings.
Love y'all.
Till our next
Bye.
episode. Bye.